Throughout my 15 years of practicing in private practice, I've been able to teach this meditation and witness firsthand how it's able to transform people's lives. This session is about, we're trying to kind of dispel a lot of the commercial information out there about meditation as a science, as an evidence-based method to reduce anxiety, alleviate depression, reduce post-traumatic stress disorder, reduce OCD symptoms. You know, all these really chronic disorders that can be very difficult to treat are extremely impacted by the practice of transcendental meditation. And this is what we will be talking about today. I first learned transcendental meditation in university. I think I was probably around 20 years old. And it came as a huge serendipitous gift to me because, you know, I grew up in Lebanon and, you know, my parents grew up in Lebanon as well. So we have a lot of trauma stored in our epigenetics and genetics. And, you know, as a people, the Lebanese people have developed really intense characteristics, right? Because of all of these life events that have taken place. So all this to say that, you know, learning this meditation gave me so much peace. I started to have this contrast between inner peace and outside chaos. Inner peace during my meditation and outside extreme chaos. And this contrast made me just have a huge flip in my life. You know, for the first time ever, I could have access to this deep level of relaxation, and it just immediately helped me blossom, increase confidence, reduce anxiety, better ability to handle people and to deal with people, controlling my, you know, intense emotions at the time. So the amazing thing is, almost now 24 years later, I'm now able to see these kinds of benefits firsthand with all the patients that I teach in my clinical practice. So let's go over the basics, okay? So transcendental meditation is a type of meditation. It's not like all types of meditation. So basically, the different meditation types can be put into three main categories. You have the meditations that they predominantly involve concentration as a method to control the mind in order to hold it still in order to experience peace of mind. This is it in a nutshell, basically. Very simplified, but that's the essence of it, right? So this concentration camp. There's the contemplation camp, which is the types of meditation that includes mindfulness, thinking about your thinking, sitting back and trying to observe your life and observe your thinking. And so they are, like the word means, contemplating. That the method is about getting your mind to contemplate on positive things in order to absorb that positivity and be able to experience it more fully. And so that's the other main category. And to be fair, the contemplation types of meditations are the ones that are most popular. So these will include, you know, all the YouTube meditations that have some music, have some positive affirmations and positive visualizations. And they do have an impact to a certain extent. Even the concentration types of meditations, they also have an impact. In the sense that contemplation will help you shift gears, you know, can get someone away from their negative thinking into more positive thinking, you know, so they definitely have some impact. And then you have the meditation types that are transcendental. And this is a very small niche where TM qualifies to be in that niche, and then just a couple other meditations will do that as well. None that are practiced widely. Something King Jong, I think, I don't know. I've never came across those types of meditations. So TM is really the main one there, and it's the most powerful one. So also these differences are seen on the level of the nervous system, where with transcendental meditation, we see more alpha brainwave activation. So when we're scanning people doing the practice, we see their brain going into alpha brainwaves quite frequently and for a longer time. Whereas with concentration, I believe it's gamma brainwaves, right? And that's a lot the type of mental activity that it looks a lot like when you're also problem solving and you're very focused on something. So it's the same type of activity. And then with contemplation, it's the theta brainwaves, which is a bit like dream-like, right? So we see that in those types of meditation. So with alpha brainwaves, that is correlated with just being able to be present. You're not engaged in active thinking. You're more in the state of being, which is so deeply relaxing, right? And it's easy and effortless. These are very key points that distinguish this practice and make it very unique in my mind and in the minds of a lot of mental health professionals who use TM as an evidence-based method. So those are some of the levels, those are some of the differences on the level of the brain, where we actually see very significant patterns in each types of meditation. And with TM, we see that relaxed, effortless state. Whereas, of course, with the gamma brainwaves and the concentration types, you have a lot of focus and effort, so it's hard. And this is why a lot of people say that, oh, meditation is not for me. I've tried it. It's really hard to do. I can't concentrate. Those are literally the most common things I hear. I can't concentrate. It's very hard for me, or I get bored. Yeah. So gamma brainwaves are very effortful to maintain. And so it makes that meditation not sustainable. You can have the best type of intentions coming into the practice and saying, okay, now I'm going to pick up meditation, I'm going to learn to manage my stress, and it's so popular, everyone's talking about it. And then you do it for a week and two, and then it's not sustainable, right? Because you don't get the energy from it. You have to put energy into it. And so by that, I mean there's a lot of effortfulness involved. Now, the contemplation types, like we said earlier, these are a bit easier. So it's less effort, but it also involves effort. Okay? And so the most amazing thing about TM is it's completely effortless. In fact, you know, as a teacher, you know, what we've been kind of trying to emphasize is that this is what we need. We need one area of our life where we can let go and train our mind to let go. Because with everything with our modern life, we're trained, you know, you have to learn languages because you live in multicultural cities. You have to learn, you know, a lot of things. Everything involves effort. Your work involves effort. Controlling your temper with your kids involves effort. Managing your relationship with your partner involves effort. Everything in our modern life requires a lot from us. So no wonder people are experiencing mental health issues, depression and anxieties in rates we haven't seen before, because it's the modern lifestyle. It's so taxing on our nervous system and everything. So this is why I love this, because even with someone coming in with very intense fatigue and burnout and all of that, when I get them to learn this, it's not hard for them. I can actually ask of them to do this with all clear consciousness, because I know that they can do it. So it's completely effortless, completely relaxing. Now, this is the impact on the level of the mind. Let's go into the impact on the level of the body. So on the level of the body, Transcendental Meditation has been found to allow us to experience a metabolic rate that is deeper than deep sleep by twice as much. So what does that mean? It means that when we sleep over the course of 6 to 8 hours, our metabolism gradually decreases, thereby allowing our body to slow down its functioning and be able to divert more attention and energy towards healing our gut from the things that we ate during the day, processing the food, healing, rebalancing it, removing out all the toxins, healing our mind from processing the information, putting it into the right category, long-term, short-term. So basically our body, we wake up more fresh the next day, because during the night our body is able to slow down enough to be able to look after the other things and tidy the house, if you want. You can say it that way. Right? So now what we found is when people are practicing transcendental meditation is that their metabolism within those 20 minutes, it shoots down to 18% different than normal waking state. So that means that in those 20 minutes, you're getting twice as deep rest than in waking state, and then in compared to sleep as well, right? So that means that your body has that much energy to process and then remove not only surface level stresses at this point, but also start to dismantle deeper rooted stresses that are much harder to get rid of, right? So I don't know if you know this, but doctors say that at least 70 to 80% of all of the illnesses we have, including heart disease, diabetes, all those bad illnesses, they are all psychosomatic. That means that they are all triggered by stress or made worse by stress, right? So our bodies are under constant pressures, more than what we can recognize. And it's this constant pressure that accumulates with time and age, and then leaves us vulnerable to those more severe and complicated illnesses. So when you're meditating on a daily basis, because this is what we do with TM, we meditate twice a day, every day, for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. This routine creates a huge bubble around us, in the sense that it gives us profound rest in a really consistent way. And it's created that routine and helps you create that routine where you really wash that stuff out, or you are able to process that stress before it starts to accumulate. So the body really gets a very profound chance to rest, and also the body develops its intelligence as well. And having that routine of morning and evening, you are more able to make better choices for yourself. Because we all know, one small choice of going to the wrong party or get together, or indulging too much in this or that, leaves us feeling more tired for the rest of the week, right, than if we didn't. So having the right ability to make the right choices for us involves us being not overly exhausted. So when you meditate morning and evening, you have created a system, a routine for yourself where you're always more or less fresh. So you always make better decisions and better choices. And this is partly why Maharishi, who's the founder of Transcendental Meditation, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, created a routine like that, so that you are always making the best choices for you. Now, I really like to highlight a couple of very interesting findings when it comes to that. So in one study, it was found that transcendental meditation, when compared with other meditation techniques, was by far more effective. And they've compared it to other meditation techniques and also to placebo. So they've literally treated it like a medication and compared it to placebo. And you may know this, but basically any medication that's going to be released into the market needs to be compared with the placebo. So basically a sugar pill. And they give this to the person. And if the two groups, the people who took the sugar pill and the people who took, for example, the painkiller, they both felt good, or they both felt the same, then that means that medication is not really that effective, correct? So that's kind of like it in a nutshell. So meditation, transcendental meditation, showed far better results than all the other techniques and placebo. So it's really profoundly effective. Now, a study that I really love was actually a meta-analysis of 146 different studies. So 146 different studies looked at the impact of transcendental meditation on anxiety and stress. And what it found was also that TM was far superior and very, very effective in reducing stress and anxiety. Now, how does that work, you might say? Well, basically, it seems that when we're meditating with our eyes closed, we are experiencing decreases in cortisol level. And that's measured through the hormones in our skin, it's measured through our breathing rate, and it's measured through, what was the other one? Body temperature as well. So those are indicators of the stress response. And so through the blood samples, they were able to see that the cortisol levels dropped. And this happens as soon as we start to close the eyes and go into the meditative state. So it's really powerful, right? So we have many proofs So we talked about the brainwaves and how they shift into this kind of present, relaxed mode. And we also have on the level of the body, where we said 146 studies. So it's a meta-analysis. You can have amazing confidence with those kinds of findings, right? When it comes to findings, a lot of things are thrown here and there about like, oh, research finds this and this meditation is evidence-based and blah, but you have to look closer, right? So with the studies on TM, they are done all over the world. It's not some research center in this place or 2 research centers, right? Because you're always afraid that these are biased or they're funded by the product themselves or whatever. No, with TM we have around 600 studies that have been published in peer-reviewed journals, right? So peer-reviewed as in published in journals, that's essential, and then peer-reviewed, so that means that, you know, each study is reviewed by other researchers who are not related to this researcher, and they'll be very objective in their assessment of the methodology of this study and the data and the conclusions taken from it. So really, the amount of confidence you can have when you're talking about transcendental meditation and its impact is like infinite, because it's like, it's like no other type of meditation. And these were done in Harvard, Yale, UCLA. They were funded by governments. I think with the American Association for Heart Disease, they funded research on TM, which cost, of course, millions and millions of dollars. And their findings were that TM was as effective as medication for certain clients or for certain patients, right? So amazing benefits. What else? Of course, you can have a look at those findings for yourself on the TM website. And there are a couple of really thick scientific books with all the research published in them, right? So if you just Google scientific research on transcendental meditation books, you'll find them. I think there are 2 or 3 volumes. They come together, they're quite thick, and they have all the studies in them. So it's really amazing. So yeah, it just gives me a lot of mental peace, knowing that I have this, amazing tool that's so easy to learn for me to help people, you know, super easy to incorporate into your day-to-day and start to, enjoy its benefits right away. The amazing thing about TM is it's really enjoyable to practice. So it's like I said earlier, we don't need one more thing we have to force ourselves to do. Of course, we eventually, we have to do these things. That's part of life. But when it comes to our mental health, this is so precious, this method, because it's the one thing that you can just sit and let go and just enjoy and enjoy and enjoy. Nothing is like it. It's so simple. And it doesn't require any changes or any kind of adopting a certain mentality. Like a lot of the meditations out there, you have to kind of follow the teacher, follow the teachings, become vegetarian, avoid all these other things, make changes in your lifestyle. And fine, you can do all of that if you wish, but none of that is essential when it comes to experiencing the benefits of transcendental meditation. You can just simply start to apply it. You don't have to make any changes into your life. And you, from day one, begin to experience the benefits. Because if you go into a cold plunge, you're gonna get cold, right? You don't need time to process that, and you don't need to believe in it. It's like mechanical. You go into a cold plunge, an ice bath, you're gonna freeze right away. And this is the same thing with TM. You don't need to believe in it. You don't need to believe in meditation. God knows how many clients I've taught that they have nothing to do with that kind of thing. They're not yoga people. They don't care. They don't eat vegetarian food. They're steak lovers. They like their all of their vices. They enjoy these things. And that's the thing. You don't need to make changes to who you are and what you do in order to begin to be able to enjoy the benefits of this amazing tool and to have access to this profound relaxation that is really able to transform your life. Yeah, so no need to make any changes into your lifestyle as you begin to enjoy. Now, it's not possible to spend enough time, and I don't want to bore you with all the research, but basically the findings are like infinite. So improves in cognition, improve in concentration, improve in memory, reversal of age-related effects on cognitive function, concentration. Did I say that? Everybody complains about their concentration, especially as you cross your 30s and move from there. So amazing benefits of the Transcendental Meditation program experience with people as soon as 3 months and 6 months, right? So those kinds of changes come in very quickly. You don't need to be doing it for years in order to feel that. On the level of the body, we have the same. We have amazing, increases in energy, improves in blood sugar levels, improves in all markers of aging. So literally, meditators, their biological clock, when measured, obviously with like different tests, show that their body is much younger than their chronological body. So reversal of aging. What else do we have? Now, we said that the reason for that is that with Transcendental Meditation, when we close our eyes and we practice this mental method that you learn in the course, your body's metabolism goes twice as deep as deep sleep. So essentially, it's just that. It's that deep rest that you are able to consciously trigger and maintain that allows your body to begin to heal itself and recover. Now, all of these changes and improvements of your mental state and physical state will of course also reflect in your social behavior. Obviously, we have much more energy to give people. We're kinder. We have more patience dealing with other people. So it's no surprise that Transcendental Meditation has been used for the past at least 20 years in very intense environments where there's a lot of stress, prisons, at-risk schools, during war times, in all those really intense situations. And in every time we find that even with this very intense severity, we see a reversal of that. So the studies looked at the social behavior of students with their teachers. They found better relationship, more respect. Students are able to stick to the rules and they're happy to, and they show appreciation to the management of the schools and to the teachers. They're able to learn better, of course, and all of that. So we have been able to see those benefits documented in studies. Again, you can find those on the website as well as in the published books on the research on TM. So we see a huge amount of changes that happen also on the social realm, a social side of things. And I can just speak from experience. When I teach Transcendental Meditation to couples, I do a lot of couple therapy, I immediately see a change in the couple. So the fights they used to have, they don't just disappear right away, but the intensity is completely different. Instead of going into a fight and just going to a level of just wanting to hurt the other person and being destructive in the relationship, we see arguing, we see negotiating, we see discussions without that kind of intense negativity. And then we see an ability to go past the conflict into negotiation and into resolution, which I could never get before introducing Transcendental Meditation. Because it's like the stress response, like a button. Once you press it, it's a circuit and it's automatic. It just launches, right? And so we have this thing we know in psychotherapy that people can be very destructive for themselves, even obviously in their relationships as well. They can't help it. It's because of the fight or flight response. They go into a space in their head where it's like, it's me or them. They're no longer on the same team. They go into hurting the other person, basically, because of the stress. So when we introduce Transcendental Meditation, that impulse, that instinct to hurt, to dominate, to win over your partner, which is a very losing strategy over the long term, is reduced because we are not as stressed anymore, even in the most stressful situations. We are calm and collected, and so we are able to keep our head above the water and talk it out with the other person. We're not threatened by them. We are able to remember that we are on the same team. We're just dealing with a challenge and we're trying to resolve it, right? So amazing impact on the level of personal relationship, changes in behavior that are very, very, conducive to maintaining healthier relationships. And of course, this expands into the society. And this is why the TM organization has conducted numerous times assemblies of thousands of people to kind of radiate a positive influence into society as well. And these efforts were amazing, and they've every time showed a decrease in stress levels in society as measured with, so basically when they've had these groups, they're meditating, they found that in the vicinity, in that city, around the event, around the assembly, we see decreases in stresses, decreases in arrests, decreases in car accidents, decreases in hospitalization rates. All of that are documented evidence that, you know, the stress that we have, it's not something that we keep just within our body, we spread it into our atmosphere. And now imagine thinking of society as a body, and how if society's levels of stress are high, how it impacts the environment as well, the city as a whole, the vibe. That's why cities have different vibes, and you tend to like some but not others, right? So stress can also show up in the collective consciousness as well. And we have, I think, about 5 or 6 times that the organization created those assemblies and then measured the rates. And the findings were that it was super powerful in reducing those kinds of collective stresses, as we discussed. So yeah, this is kind of like a transcendental meditation crash course. Basically, it's super easy for you to learn. All you need to do is sign up for the course. It's 4 days. The first day is a one-on-one instruction with the teacher. Each day is about an hour to an hour and a half, depending. So that first day, you're doing a one-on-one with the teacher. They're guiding you how to do it, how to do the meditation technique. And then, so that's the first day. And then it's followed by 3 days. Those 3 days can be individual or can be with the group. You would be doing your study on the TM app. We have an amazing app now that has all the coursework on there. Each day takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours of class time that you do on the app. And then in the evening, you come together with the teacher to discuss and to meditate and fine-tune your practice. And we do that for 3 days. And these 4 days are consecutive. By the end of the 4th day, you are very capable of meditating on your own. However, you know, the course is structured in the way that even when you finish the course, you're always able for life to go back to your teacher or to go back to any other transcendental meditation teacher in your city. And there are centers in all major cities to check your meditation, to ask questions about it, to attend monthly meetings. Those things are available to you as part of the course once you are a meditator. So it's an amazing follow-up program. Also includes your access to your app, which will also be for life. So I would say all in all, it's a super easy decision to make because it's super evidence-based, and it's a very profound and powerful thing to add to your routine. You can do it on the plane, you can do it in the back of the car if someone is driving you, you can do it on the beach, you can do it in the park, you can do it in your office. Even when you're a new parent, before you go up to your house or to your apartment, you can do it in your car, do your meditation and go up. I have countless people doing just that, or closing their door in their office and doing their meditation. So it's super easy to fit in because it's just 20 minutes. And yeah. So I hope this helps, and obviously please feel free to send me an email and check our website for more information about the course.